Make the ground shake.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Rainbow Raptor bringing you an episode of NBA 2K15. This will be my first 2K15 video, and what we're going to do today is we're going to do us a My GM mode, but more specifically we're going to get into a fantasy draft. I'm setting up, the difficulties on All-Star, quarter length, 5 minutes, all that basic stuff. Because this isn't going to be my primary GM mode, but I wanted to do something just to put it on YouTube, all that cool stuff. And of course, if you guys know me in real life, I'm a huge Laker fan, so we're going to go with the Lakers. And let's get to the first pick. Got some really good players still left up on the board. You got Anthony Davis, Chris Paul, Kyrie Irving, D Wade. It's really just all about preference for me. And the way that I'm going to build this particular team is I'm going to kind of center it around one All-Star and then a younger All-Star, and then I'm going to just kind of build and put some older experienced pieces around him, maybe one or two other young guys. Because what I'm really looking to do, I'm looking to make a big splash this year, so I want some good players. I'd like to make the playoffs and possibly even win it all in this first season. But what I'm really looking to do is in the off season after the first season, maybe sign some big name players, because I may even be able to get Kobe back to the Lakers or whatever. But I'm really looking to get like Kevin Love or LeBron or players like that after this first season. So I'm looking to make a big splash in free agency. So I don't want any big contracts other than my big, number one pick, which was Anthony Davis. So, let's keep getting into this draft here. Got the next pick coming up. I love Brandon Knight. I have him in my other one. He's a freaking beast, dude, especially once you progress him a couple of years. He has one of the best three-point shots in the game. Other than Steph Curry, in my opinion, he has the second best three-point shot. It's just so freaking smooth, and he's so easy to play with, has good pass rating, all that awesome stuff, dude. And looking around a little bit, I see Andre Iguodala, see Paul Pierce, see Manu Ginobili, all three really good players. The only downside to them is they are older, but it's actually perfect for me. And I'm actually going to pick up all three of those guys, but we're going to wait a few minutes because they're going to last for a few more rounds because, they are old. Nobody wants old players. But so we're going to look around a little bit more, Got Andre. Got Jordan Hill on the team. He's an awesome big man, just awesome two-way player. He can block some shots, but mostly I just want him in there offensively with Anthony Davis, pull down some rebounds, all that stuff, because I want a big rebounding team. I want somebody that can defend the interior, and I want somebody that can defend the exterior. That's exactly why I picked up Andre Iguodala, because still, even though he's like 30 years old or whatever, he's still one of the best perimeter defenders in the whole game. So, it's just, you can't beat it, man. So, moving on, though, this round, you got Darren Williams still on the board, but he's really fallen off in the past couple of years. He's not much to, shake a fist at anymore. Got James Johnson. I've heard he's good, but I've never really, used him a whole lot. But I'm really thinking, I had this pick in between Paul Pierce and Trevor Ariza, and I had a really hard time. This pick took me a while to pick. And I wound up going with Pierce just because I've used him before. And, he's an older guy, not a big contract, somebody that can play at a high level for this first season, and somebody I can dump off in the off season or even trade in the regular season if I want to, because that's something also that I like to do with my fantasy drafts. You will hardly ever see me finish the season with the same exact lineup that I drafted. I always wind up making a bunch of trades throughout the entire season. That's fun of the game, in my opinion, seeing how good you can get your team and all that stuff. And what we're going to try to do, of course, I'm not going to be able to play every single game. I'm not going to play 82 games over the span of a season. What I'm going to do, of course, I'll play the first game of the season, but other than that, I'm mainly going to be playing key games like really good matchups or, teams that should beat me or whatever, what have you. We're just going to play the key matchups, and then once we get to the playoffs, we'll play, a decent bit. But we're pretty much just going to be simming through the season, making trades, adjusting the lineup, seeing how good we can make this team, and then going in the next season, the off season, I'll have an off season video where we cover everything that goes on in the off season, all that awesome stuff. But as of right now, this video is just going to continue to focus on this draft, and then after this video, be sure to check it out. We're actually going to have a video, showing some of the other teams in the league, just kind of quickly highlighting some of the better teams in the league. Because there's I can already tell you there's going to be a couple of teams that are just ridiculous. They have like somehow wind up with 2 superstars on their team, even though we had a pretty high pick. We can't get that. We got lucky to get Anthony Davis, and I'm just trying to put some decent pieces around him. And see, later on here in this draft, I think I end up actually taking Kevin Garnett just because I do want to I will move him eventually. I probably won't keep him around. Jordan Clarkson that I just picked up, awesome pick, man. I mean, he's a rookie, he's a point guard, he's such a good, the Lakers are my favorite team, and in real life, he is really showcased. He's the one bright spot that the Lakers have really had all season because, he got taken pretty late in the draft. Nobody said he would really amount to anything. A lot of people thought he'd just kind of be like Ryan Kelly. He would stay with the team, but he would never freaking play. But he has really, really shown out in his first year in LA. And I'm really looking forward to see what he has to offer for us in the future. And I'm really looking forward to playing with him in this game, having him coming off the bench for Brandon Knight at point guard. Because he's really good in the game, too. His overall, jumped up to a 75 on the game. Once you progress him some, I've used him in a couple of my other drafts before. Once you progress him a couple of years, he gets really well. You can get him into the mid-80s, and really you can get him into the 90s if you really push and, up his potential every single offseason. You can push him into the 90s if you really want to devote all your resources to doing that. But later on at this point in the draft, normally I just use my first 9 guys. Normally, my 10th through 13th, I don't even really touch them. But I'm going to pick up Vince Carter because he can still contribute to the team. And you always have injuries too. You always want somebody at that 10th slot that can step in to either a starting role or even a role-playing role. That way you can just have somebody to back it up, man. Because you can't, if somebody goes down, you can't just lose every single game after that. You got to be able to just bounce back and keep hitting other teams in the mouth. But these last couple picks are just kind of bull picks. Like I got Wayne Ellington. I've never really used him, but he's a pretty good shooter. So I figure if I'm late stages of a game, I need some 3 shooters, I can throw him into the game if need be. And I actually almost took Steve Nash just because I love Steve Nash, but then I realized he stays hurt all the time, and he's about 97 years old, so I decided just to move on from Steve. And I think I get a big man here. I think I actually take Greg Oden, if I'm not mistaken, and I had to take him just because he's a Buckeye, man. I'm a huge Ohio State Buckeye fan. Won the national championship in football this year. That's awesome. But I had to take Greg Oden, kind of as a sympathy pick, I guess, because I really feel bad for the guy because he came to the NBA, really had some potential to be, one of the, better players in the NBA, and then just injuries just completely plagued him. And he just didn't have a chance, man. I just felt so terrible for the guy. But moving on from the draft, got a pretty solid team. We're going to move in, talking to our owner, Eric, however the hell you say his last name. I don't know, it's ridiculous. He's going to give us all of our, season duties and all that crap. And one of them that he gives us, I actually have to move either Wayne Ellington or Kevin Garnett. And that works perfectly because I actually planned on trading both of them at some point during the season. Have to win 32 games. I think it was 32 games in the season. That's no problem. We'll definitely get that. Keeping the team chemistry high enough, that's pretty simple too. Just not making too many trades at one time and just winning games, all that good stuff. And I'm sure with this core that we have on this team, we will be absolutely fine. We have a pretty decent budget this year. I'm hoping I can make enough money through this season to really have a nice budget next year. But and we're actually going to pull a real, somebody made a 2015 draft class. We're going to pull that on here and try to get us a draft pick maybe too. That way we can get us a good player like Towns or, somebody like that, or Okafor. But that's going to be it for this one, guys. Definitely check out some of my other Call of Duty videos, and it won't be long. I'll have the lineups and then the first game video up on YouTube for you guys to check out for this. Thank you guys for watching. I love all of you guys very, very much. Stay awesome. And this is Rainbow Raptor signing out.